In March 2011, Rose Candice had the worst lunch of her life. Sitting at a restaurant in Shaoguan, a small city in South China, the American mother tried hard not to vomit while her traveling companion translated what the man they were eating with had just explained. Her adopted Chinese daughter Erica had been purchased and then essentially resold to her for profit. The papers the Chinese orphanage had shown her documenting how her daughter had been abandoned by the side of a road were fakes. The tin of earth the orphanage had given her so that her daughter could always keep a piece of her home with her as she grew up in the United States was a fraud. A pile of dirt from the place her daughter's paperwork was forged, not where she was born. Candice had flown thousands of miles to answer her daughter Erica's question, "Who are my birth parents?" But now she was further from the answer than ever. Almost exactly a year earlier, Liu Liqin had the worst day of his life. He was out on a temporary construction job, looking forward to lunch and his next cigarette break, when his wife called to tell him that their 2-year-old son, Liu Jingjun, was missing. Liu rushed home and began a frantic but fruitless search for the boy. He and his wife called relatives, ran to the local police station to report Jingjun missing, and then fanned out through their city neighborhood, calling the boy's name and asking passers-by if they had seen anything. The police told him they couldn't take the case because not enough time had passed since the boy had disappeared. Finally, late in the evening, Liu thought to check the footage from a surveillance camera at a building on the street outside his family's apartment. Sure enough, when the video footage was queued up, in a small corner of the frame, Liu could see a man, face obscured, carrying little Jingjun down the narrow alley where the Liu family lives. I met Liu for the first time in that same alley. He had agreed to become the first subject of a documentary film I was making about kidnapped children in China. Watching the man in the footage taking him away, Liu trailed off. There's really no way to describe that feeling.
Understanding the basics, who is who and what is what. When you read our agreement, some words are key. We means WebBank. Us also means WebBank. R refers to WebBank too. WebBank is the lender here. They provide the credit product. They are setting the rules. This is made very clear so you know who we are. This helps you understand who is talking to you. It is important for clarity in your financial dealings. Now, let's talk about you. You means the applicant. That is you, the customer. Your also refers to you. You're applying for credit. Or you already have an account with us. You have certain rights. You also have responsibilities. Understand your role in this agreement now. Knowing this makes the terms personal and direct. It helps you see what applies to you. Disclosures are very important pieces of information. They tell you key facts about your credit. This includes information about interest rates, and it tells you about any fees. They explain all the terms and conditions clearly. This is for your protection and your safety, so you can make smart financial decisions. Read them very carefully before you agree to anything. Why are these disclosures so important? Disclosures protect you, the consumer. They help you understand everything fully. There should be no surprise costs later on. You will know all the relevant facts up front. This knowledge gives you financial power. It helps you manage your money well. The bank is being transparent with you. Disclosures make things fair and clear for everyone. Your consent. Choosing how we talk to you. To receive disclosures electronically, you must agree first. This means getting important news by email or through our secure website. This agreement is your consent. It means you are saying yes. You are saying yes to online documents. This means no paper mail for these specific items. WebBank needs your official okay for this. This is your true choice to make, always. You can also choose to receive paper disclosures. This means paper copies will arrive in your mail. This is also a perfectly good option. You must tell WebBank your wish. The bank will then explain how to set this up. Receiving paper documents is a traditional method. Some people find it easier to manage. Your comfort and preference matter most to us. We want you to be informed your way. How will we send electronic communications? Electronic news comes to you online. Very often it will be sent to your email address. The email itself might contain the information, or it might have a secure link to our website. You would then log in to view the document. WebBank will explain this process very well. It is designed to be fast, secure, and easy for you. So please keep your email address safe and active. Sometimes disclosures are posted on WebBank's website. You would access them on our secure online portal. You will usually need to log in to your account. You use your unique username and password. Your documents are kept safe and private there. WebBank may also send you an email alert. This alert tells you a new document is available. It is your responsibility to check for this news often. Getting your information paper or pixels. Even if you agree to electronic disclosures, you can still get paper. You have the right to request a paper copy. This applies to any disclosure document we send. There is a specific way to ask for this. The bank, WebBank, clearly tells you how. Sometimes there might be a small fee for extra copies, but it is a good backup option to have available. To get a paper copy, you usually need to contact WebBank. You might call their customer service number, or you could send them a written request by mail. Some banks, including WebBank, may have online request forms. Check your agreement for the specific rules. Be sure to say which paper document you need, and always provide your account details clearly. Keep a note of your request for your own records. For online news and disclosures, you need some equipment. A personal computer is a good option, or a modern smartphone often works just fine. A tablet computer is also okay too. Your chosen device must be able to connect to the internet. Your internet connection needs to be reliable and working. This ensures you can successfully get and view files. Most people already have these common items. You will also need certain software on your device. A good, up-to-date web browser is important. Common browsers include Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. You will also need a PDF reader program. Adobe Acrobat Reader is a common one, and it is free. You must have an active email account, and you need enough storage space to save files if you wish. Always keep your software updated for security. Your control updating choices and contact details. You can always change your mind. This applies to electronic disclosures. You have the right to withdraw your consent. This means you can stop them. You can go back to paper copies if you wish. You can decide this at any time you want. WebBank must allow this change. It is your right to choose how you are informed. This gives you full control over your preferences. To withdraw your consent, you must tell WebBank. Your credit agreement will say exactly how. Usually you need to write them a letter, or you can call their customer service line. Be sure to ask about any changes this might cause. For example, there might be new fees for paper statements, or it could affect certain account features. Follow their instructions carefully for a smooth change. It is very, very important to keep your email current. This is especially true if you chose electronic disclosures. If your email address changes, tell WebBank right away. If they send disclosures to an old email, you will miss them. This could mean missing important account changes, or notices about fees or about your rights. You are responsible for receiving these important notices. So update your email now. Your physical mailing address is also very important. You must keep it up to date with WebBank. This is true even for online news preferences. Sometimes WebBank might need to mail you something important. This could happen if there is an issue with your email, or it will be used if you withdraw electronic consent. If you move, tell them your new address immediately. Good information helps WebBank serve you better.
Today we're diving into a very important and sensitive topic: child sexual victimization. It's not something a lot of us want to think about, but it's absolutely crucial that we discuss it openly and honestly. Understanding the complexities of this issue can help us protect our children and support victims better. In this video, we'll touch on historical attitudes toward child abuse, the role of the FBI in tackling this issue, the misconceptions surrounding it, and the importance of evidence. So let's get started on this vital conversation together. When we look back at how society has viewed child sexual abuse, it's clear that denial has been a significant hurdle. For many years, people preferred to ignore this ugly reality, thinking it couldn't really happen in their communities. However, awareness has gradually increased, especially over the last few decades. Today, it's clear that child sexual victimization occurs more often than we'd like to believe. We still have a long way to go, but understanding and discussing this issue is the first step in creating a safer environment for our children. The FBI's Behavioral Science Unit plays a critical role in understanding and preventing child sexual abuse. This unit helps law enforcement by providing insights and strategies based on extensive research into human behavior. They analyze victim and offender behavior to develop better investigative techniques and training programs aimed at protecting children. Importantly, they remind us that each case is unique and requires careful consideration. Their goal is to not only solve crimes, but also to prevent them from happening in the first place, making them an essential part of the fight against child abuse. There are several myths surrounding child sexual abuse that need to be addressed. One common misconception is the idea of stranger danger, where people often think that predators are always lurking in the shadows, just waiting to pounce on unsuspecting children. The reality is that many offenders are known to their victims, whether they're family members, friends, or trusted adults. Furthermore, child victims can be boys as well as girls, and not all victims fit the innocent child stereotype we often imagine. It's critical to recognize that any child can be at risk and that we need to be vigilant and supportive, regardless of their background or behavior. Understanding these myths can help us build a more accurate picture of the issue and foster a safer environment for those at risk. As we explore the topic, we also encounter some disturbing allegations, such as those related to organized satanic cults and ritual abuse. These claims sometimes receive a lot of media attention, but it's important to approach them with caution. While it's crucial to take all allegations seriously, we also need to rely on concrete evidence before jumping to conclusions. Unfortunately, many of these extreme claims lack the backing of corroborative evidence, which can lead to false accusations and unwanted panic in communities. Sensational stories often overshadow the real, heartbreaking experiences of actual victims, which detracts from the support they need. Instead of perpetuating unverified claims, let's focus on raising awareness about the genuine issues of child sexual abuse to create a stronger support network for victims. When it comes to handling allegations of child sexual abuse, professionals, such as therapists, social workers, and law enforcement officers, each have their perspectives and methodologies. Therapists may often rely on the trust their clients have in them, while social workers need more tangible evidence before taking protective action. Law enforcement officers usually operate under strict guidelines requiring a higher level of proof to proceed with legal action. It's essential these professionals work together, sharing their insights and collaborating effectively to ensure the best outcomes for children involved. It's vital to manage how we discuss allegations of child sexual abuse in public forums. Sensational claims can lead to hysteria, which, in turn, can cloud the real issues at hand. Responsible communication is key. When we share information, it should be accurate and well-supported. Misinformation can lead to fear and misunderstanding in our communities. By fostering informed discussions, we can ensure a more nuanced understanding of the problem and work toward effective prevention and support for victims without creating unnecessary panic. In conclusion, it's crucial to have these important conversations about child sexual victimization. The more we understand the realities of this issue, the better equipped we are to protect and support our children. Thank you for joining me in this vital discussion. Let's continue to raise awareness and make a difference together.
In March 2011, Rose Candice had the worst lunch of her life. Sitting at a restaurant in Shaoguan, a small city in South China, the American mother tried hard not to vomit while her traveling companion translated what the man they were eating with had just explained. Her adopted Chinese daughter Erica had been purchased and then essentially resold to her for profit. The papers the Chinese orphanage had shown her documenting how her daughter had been abandoned by the side of a road were fakes. The tin of earth the orphanage had given her so that her daughter could always keep a piece of her home with her as she grew up in the United States was a fraud. A pile of dirt from the place her daughter's paperwork was forged, not where she was born. Candice had flown thousands of miles to answer her daughter Erica's question, "Who are my birth parents?" But now she was further from the answer than ever. Almost exactly a year earlier, Liu Liqin had the worst day of his life. He was out on a temporary construction job, looking forward to lunch and his next cigarette break, when his wife called to tell him that their 2-year-old son, Liu Jingjun, was missing. Liu rushed home and began a frantic but fruitless search for the boy. He and his wife called relatives, ran to the local police station to report Jingjun missing, and then fanned out through their city neighborhood, calling the boy's name and asking passers-by if they had seen anything. The police told him they couldn't take the case because not enough time had passed since the boy had disappeared. Finally, late in the evening, Liu thought to check the footage from a surveillance camera at a building on the street outside his family's apartment. Sure enough, when the video footage was queued up, in a small corner of the frame, Liu could see a man, face obscured, carrying little Jingjun down the narrow alley where the Liu family lives. I met Liu for the first time in that same alley. He had agreed to become the first subject of a documentary film I was making about kidnapped children in China. Watching the man in the footage taking him away, there's really no way to describe that feeling. Keep reading The Atlantic, essential journalism for historic times. Subscribe for 1 year of access and a role in supporting independent journalism. Subscribe for every child trapped to the future goals. We'll rise, we'll scream, we'll shine a bright light on the depths of despair while we stand up and fight. In this battle for justice, we'll forge a new way. The echoes of truth will not lead us astray, for in the flames of resilience we find our might together. We'll dismantle the constructs of night. Echoes of darkness. In the shadows of the elite, where whispers twist and secrets creep, a name rings out from beneath the veil. Jeffrey Epstein, a tale too frail. The billionaire's plot woven tight in the night, with silk ties to power, hiding hearts out of sight. Clinton, Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew, fingers stained, tangled in this web of taboo, while the island lures like sirens on the sea, a realm of exploitation, kids lost in debris. The Lolita whispers drift through the winds, while the FBI pries, as the night begins, Anthony Weiner. Yes, he knows it all. Ready to spill the secrets, let the curtain fall. Oh, the echoes of trafficking reach beyond borders, satellite voices singing of lost daughters, Hillary's magic, an NGO's dream, but the orphans' cries, do they pierce the scheme? Emails flaring on a digital flame, Laura's fake orphanage, a shroud for the shame. Unraveled intentions, a scandal unfurled, Haiti's children tossed into a world where dreams of salvation mask sinister plays, an attorney who traffics. How deep is this maze? WikiLeaks reign like a truth bomb burst, price tags on lives, a hunger erased, cursed. Each document a mirror of systemic decay, funding flows freely, no moral dismay, a pitch that seems innocent, but oh what a flip, hold fast, hold tight. It unravels the grip. Look at the notes drafted with care, extraditions penned, but who's truly aware? Echoes of darkness, corruption unfolds, the tales of the trafficked, their stories untold as we sift through the memories. The shadows display the human cost hidden beneath all the sway. The threads entwined, a tapestry grim, while the powerful dine, the innocent swim, in oceans of secrecy, wrapped tight in a cloak, fishing for freedom. Their resolve is bespoke. So let's raise our voices, let's shine that light from the darkness, expose this insidious plight, because every child matters, each soul in the fray, and together we'll break these dark walls away. Let truth be a tide that sweeps through our town, for the echoes of justice will never back down. Justice on the brink. In the shadowed halls of justice, where power wields a mighty pen, we dance with complexities, the tale of counsel and the law, a tug-of-war with the very fabric of democracy, where oversight is a whisper and discretion can sway like a feather, blown by winds of ambition. In 1994, a promise forged anew, the Independent Counsel Act rose, a shield for the people in a world where secrets burrow deep. But 5 years later, as whispers grew loud, the act found itself abandoned, as if it were worn-out clothes left behind on the mercy of time. Janet Reno stood tall, voice ringing clear, critiques pouring like rain on parched earth. It distorts the balance, she declared, prosecutors unmoored, chasing shadows with budgets unfettered. Unaccountable crusaders, the act's spectre loomed wide, open wounds of an age-old grievance, where a target's soul was dragged through muck as dirty laundry danced in the public eye. But here came rebirth, a phoenix of regulations. The Attorney General wielded the helm, a special counsel, yes, but tethered to the wary eye of justice, where discretion meets oversight, a fragile balance on this high wire. Yet does this change soothe the fears as voices echo in the chambers, the spectre of politicization shadows, doubts creep like ivy on the walls, and the search for truth walks on a tightrope, splitting light between what is right and what is wrong. Imbued with the weight of history, we stand at this crossroads where accountability is the glue, binding the fractured trust shattered, because every pulse of justice should thrum with integrity, every echo of law a gentle caress whispering fairness. So we raise our voices high amidst the cacophony of doubt and fear. Let us reignite the spirit of scrutiny, for in these reforms lie our hopes, that the scales of justice tip not into the abyss of power, where the innocent gets lost, but into the balance of truth, fairness, the heartbeat of a democratic dream.
All right, civic students, let's break down some big Senate news. Just last month, the U.S. Senate voted 51-44 to revoke California's special federal waiver that let them set their own vehicle emissions standards. Yep, that's the rule that aimed for 100% zero-emission new car sales by 2035. Now, why is this such a big deal? Since the 1970s, California has been a national leader on tough emissions rules, and other states could choose to follow their lead. But with this vote, the Senate used something called the Congressional Review Act to pull that federal permission. What's really wild is that the Senate did this, even though their own parliamentarians said not to. That's rare. So how does this fit into the Senate's powers? Well, the Constitution gives Congress the authority to regulate interstate commerce, and that includes rules about pollution in cars. The Senate can review and overturn agency decisions like this, especially when a simple majority is enough. And remember, every senator must be at least 30 years old, a citizen for 9 years, and a resident of the state they represent. What happens next? California plans to fight back in court, so the story's not over yet. But this is a real-life example of how the Senate's powers and political shifts can directly change policy, even for things as big as climate action. That's why understanding our Constitution and keeping up with Congress matters more than ever.